Good morning. I hope you are having a wonderfully blessed day. A while back, I worked with a band by the name of Midnight Special. Later became, split, but became After Midnight. And one of the songs, we did a Pink Floyd medley. And Dark Side of the Moon is one of the most amazing albums ever. There was a whole lot of things that I learned. When I joined that band, I was very, very honored to be a part of that band for a better part of a year or so. And I had to learn a lot of really complicated material in a very short amount of time. And I wrote down chord charts. I'm using someone else's chord chart on this because mine's somewhere buried in a pile of books over there. This song is from the album Dark Side of the Moon, and I've requested permission to use this on Facebook. They said basically, at least initially, that because there will be, if you listen to this on YouTube, which is where I'm going to post this, there will be commercial interruptions perhaps. And so I think this is called fair use. My reason for doing this is to help some of my friends. We're comparing notes. We're all learning music and arts together. So this is called Us and Them by Pink Floyd. And if you don't own a copy of this album, and Headphone Wonderland, I remember the very first time I ever put a pair of headphone set on this album. I wasn't high, didn't need to be high. But this album right here enveloped my brain in a way. The dopamine release was absolutely incredible. The very first chord is what's referred to here. It's a D, sus2. I'll get right into the song in just a moment. But there are two very important things musically. I want to relate this to one of my friends who's learning, and many, many, many of my friends who are very accomplished artists. So those of you who are learning and those of you who know but still are learning, I would definitely like to compare notes with you. Suspended chords. So you got a major, that's a D. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but music theory. Now, theory would suggest, as you can see, there's a little marking there on my keyboard. That's called middle C. I would disagree that is the middle C. I will definitely give you that. But in my view of things, D is actually the center of the keyboard, of the tonal center. F sharp's very important, but F sharp is the third of a D. So that's a major interval, and that's a minor. There's a whole way of thinking about what is the difference. The biggest difference to me is the number of steps in between those right there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to that one. There's 1, 2, 3 to get to that. These are called half steps. These are steps. Imagine Stairway to Heaven going up and Stairway to... I find heaven down here, but I can find glory anywhere on this thing. I don't really think it's a matter of happy or sad. Some people call major a happy chord. That's a triad. That's a dyad. That's a dyad. D minor, D major, D minor 7. Actually, it should be written like that. Getting way ahead of myself, but that's the fun part. On this little bitty thing, right, you got here 88 keys. There's a whole lot there. Suspension. So the reason I brought that up was, so that's the D major triad. If you go 1, that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So the 1, 2, and 5 give you this suspended. And this is an octave down. This is the tonic, the root. So it's D. Let me just play it, and you'll not need to know any of that. But this is a very suspended kind of a thing. A lot of questions, because when you suspend a chord, like this, Pedaling that D. Us. Okay. So, what is music? It was defined in a little book I have there, the Encyclopedia of Music. It says music consists of three things: melody. I think maybe I might even put that in a different order. Rhythm. So you got a beat. So here's a beat. Melody and harmony. That was rhythm. This is the harmony before we even get to the melody. And I'm pedaling that D, right? The rhythms are intrinsic. Here comes the melody. Us, 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 us. And them, them. And after all, we're only ordinary men. And you. God only know it's not what we would choose to do. It's only round and 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 round. Haven't you heard? It's a battle of words. The bulls don't cry. Listen, son, said the man with the gun. There's room for you inside. Down, 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 down and out. You can't be helped, but there's a lot of it about. With you, without unto the night is what the fighting's all about. Us and them. I know my voice is a little bit rough. Hey, but I meant it. Go for the emotion.